I definitely think that my client has one of the hardest beards that I've ever done, just because he does have a strong chin, but the main issue is the sides. Like, it's very light already as it is. On one side, it's thinner than the other, so I have to kind of match it on both sides. But let me know what you guys think to this whole video. I really want to help you guys. So
You don't have to
we're not
watch.
watching it. We're like straight out. Or it's already
No,
straight.
no,
Or it's already
I
straight.
straightened it earlier today, but I don't know if it's just 100% straight, but
Yeah, we can. Okay. So,
the usual.
all right, guys. So let's get into this. I'm gonna show you guys how I do my beard services from start to finish. I'm gonna give you guys some pointers on what to avoid when you guys are doing beards and having the mindset when you're doing a beard, because I feel like a lot of barbers treat it as if they were doing a fade or a taper like on the scalp. You have to understand that the face doesn't have as much as hair as the scalp does. Okay, so before I do anything, I like to line everything up, whether it be the side of the beard, and your brush is gonna be your best friend, because typically beard hair is very coarse and extremely curly, or wavy. Like, it's never straight. It's rare that you have a client that has a straight beard, and even then it's gonna be super coarse. So your best friend is gonna be your brush, and you pay attention here. My client does have some growth patterns, and it's best to brush them in the direction they want to lay. Like for example, right here in the sideburn area, if you notice, he has a growth pattern where it goes into like almost a cowlick, right? So before I move on, I make sure that's edges look nice and crisp. So next, I'm gonna going with my one guard open, and right here I'm pretty much just filling out the area. I want to see what this is gonna do. You always want to start with your lever open, especially with beards, because you just never know how it's gonna react. And always have a brush on you. Brush the hair down, okay? You're gonna always want to brush that hair down, because if you don't, then you're gonna have inconsistencies in the beard. Okay, so typically when a client tells me that they want to shave their beard off, it's because they're bored or they just can't take the mustache. The mustache is always going to be the number one reason why someone wants to shave off the beard. That thing is fucking annoying, and especially when it goes over the lip. You can hella feel it when you're talking to somebody or when you're eating, and it's just everywhere, right? So that's typically what I always recommend is always do a one guard or a one open. That way you can take care of it, and it lasts a lot longer, because typically when a beard grows back, that's essentially where the regrowth is going to start. Okay, so keep that in mind. So whenever you're blending in on the sides, you always want to use the ear as an indicator. That's as far as you're going to go. I made mistakes where I would fade too low whenever I would fade the beard. And using the ear is a great indicator, because that's the natural point of the face. You know what I mean? That's what's going to keep things symmetrical. And again, you know how I was talking to you guys about reference points. The reference point for the beard for the bottom is using 2 fingers. Anything below the 2 fingers is what you're going to take off. But you gotta be very careful too, because if you push your client's neckline too far in, you're gonna give your client a double chin, and that's one thing you don't want to do. So right here, I brush it down. You're gonna see me brush it down, and then I use my own logic to kind of pinpoint where I want it. So right here, I'm kind of just shoving the hair back into where his natural neckline is, because I'm not trying to give him a double chin, you know. So I'm going for a symmetrical look. Whenever you guys are doing a beard, it is important, if not a necessity, to put gel and then put the hot towel on. That way the pores open, and be sure to put the towel mostly on the neck, on the sensitive areas. Especially if your client's skin is very sensitive, you want to press down on the towel just to give that extra exfoliation when you do the hot towel. This does feel very therapeutic for the client as well too, so I do recommend it. So right here, I'm gonna do overhand, and I'm gonna follow the natural growth pattern of my client's face or my client's beard, just because if I were to shave down on the hair pattern that wants to go upwards, I'm going to pull the hair out, and it's going to cause a lot of irritation, and that's not what we're going for. Especially when my clients relax like this, we definitely want to give my client a pleasant experience. So as you can see, I'm just pretty much lining up where I already did before, But you guys have to remember something, that the trimmer can only do so much. The blade will always get closer for obvious reasons. So now that I've done the neck and I'm moving on to the face, I don't like lining up my client's face with the trimmer. I just feel like it does a better job when I do it with the razor. And once I do line it up, I like to go against the grain. Funny story about this technique. My client actually requested this, and always do this only if your client can actually handle it, because a lot of the times your client's skin is very sensitive. This is why it's important to do a hot towel, prep the skin with any kind of shave gel. But this will definitely boost the longevity of the beard. And as you can see, I'm brushing down to get the excess off. So the first run through will always be the rough draft of that line. So always have your client puff out his cheek, put some air in his cheek. That way it helps stretch out the skin to get that nice ash line. And then again, you also want to not do so many strokes, just because you don't want to irritate your client's skin. But also, you also want to preserve as much as height on the beard. And when I say height, like you want it as high as possible. So puffing out the cheek will definitely work. And any skin preparation like this will allow you to work at ease and have that peace of mind that you're doing your client, a good job, because you don't want to give them the irritation. So always prep the client's skin and get close. You know what I mean? Get very close as you can. Your client will appreciate that. Okay, so now that we got all the main things out of the way, like the razor and all that stuff, so now is my favorite part, which is the beard sculpting. I really enjoy this part because it really allows me to be, it allows me to express myself. So the way you do this, you always want to comb out your client's beard and be very careful too, and use your sharpest clipper that you have, and you want to like graze it with the clipper. You want to kind of like float it, you know what I mean? You don't want to use a guard or anything like that. I feel like when you use a guard, you're kind of revealing your client's like natural dips and crevices and stuff like that. So when you actually carve out your client's beard, it just looks so good. As you can see here, I'm just carving out my client's beard with my StyleCraft Saber. These clippers are amazing, by the way. If you haven't got them, I recommend them. They are really good, especially for fading, sculpting, all around. The only thing I don't like about them is that the battery doesn't last. The battery's only like, I think, a 2-hour battery, but the time that you're using them, they just feel so good. So right here, I'm just pretty much cleaning up the area, and all I'm really doing is just I'm cleaning up the strays, and you want to just hit those first. And if your client wants to go shorter, cool. Ask if he wants to go shorter, because at the end of the day, you can't put back hair on, especially with beard hair. Beard hair, you will notice all the mistakes, so you have to be very careful and just take your time, So you can see it looks very good on both sides, very symmetrical as my client's like noticing it. And right here, I'm doing some last minute touches, lining up the back piece behind the beard, making sure that's nice and crisp. Little things like this is what's gonna allow you to scale. Like little things that this matter. Clients will appreciate this. This is why just for the beard, I charge $75, just for the beard alone. For a head shave, I charge $90, but just because I take time and effort, all this. All my focus is on you the whole time. So my thing will never ever be rush my client to get to the next person, just because I value my client's time and I value my time as well. So there's no need for me to rush my client now. So this is the final result. Let me know what you guys think. My client loved it. As you can see, I'm right here. I'm asking him if he wants me to go shorter, but you always want to cross your T's and dot your I's and just double check everything. That way your client doesn't say, "Oh, you forgot this," So, and do not forget the aftershave. Like, clients like to feel fresh and after, so you always want to hit them with the aftershave right after. And it's right here. I'm just kind of I noticed a little something right here, so I'm gonna go back in and just clean that up and make sure everything's nice and crisp for him, because he does have an event this weekend. And I think the main thing with his beard is that he does have a strong chin, but the main problem was the sides. The sides were very light, and that was the main challenge for this beard. But yeah, guys, if you guys really like this video, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
The spaz that I put a raw in. I didn't hit the strip club instead of talk 10. The shawty out of Glico, she be coming hot just like a heat stroke. I can see you like it through the peephole. I'm stacking different money type of seat notes. I'm talking seat notes, and if you hit seat notes, just spend what you want and you get what you want. I guess you got what you wanted. You're hitting the pole and you get what you want and you keeping it honest. So